Hi. In the previous video, we have I have told you about the basic definition of job analysis. Now, the video is about an introduction part of the job analysis concept we are going through. So there we try to understand what job analysis and we have gone through a couple of definitions given by one given by Filippo and another one given by Robbins and DiCenzo. Essentially, job analysis talks about doing a detailed and systematic analysis about what the job is, why it is there, what are the basic things which are involved in performing the job, what are the requirements in performing the job, then skills and competencies that are required to perform the job. So, so you do an analysis in order to identify these things and get that results into an information which describes that various details about the job. So it is basically a detailed, systematic investigation, research about what the job is and how it is performed and what is required to perform it. So we ended with various questions that the job analysis tries to answer, and uh, what these how do you get these answers and what these answers that we will look into in this video. Now in this video what we'll try to understand is that how do we conduct that analysis, what is the process involved, and how do you get the information related to that process, right? So this video we will look into the steps involved in conducting a job analysis. The techniques which we come across in job analysis or in other textbooks and other literature what you come across with regard to what are the methods of conducting job analysis, those are the methods basically describe about the way you gather the information. So different methods can be used to gather information about a particular job. So means how do you do the investigation is done through different techniques. But here what we are doing is the total that process of conducting that job analysis from the beginning to the end, how it happens, how it is being done. So there are steps involved which talk about that the overall job analysis process is to be done from step 1 to step 2, and around 6 steps we have, and what is the outcome of that job analysis. So job analysis is a process which normally looks into all the what do you say activities which are required to perform a proper analysis about a job data. So how it is done is presented in terms of the diagram here. So the first step is basically carrying out a planning, or you plan about how the overall analysis part has to be conducted. You start out with a plan, and then you identify or you study the details about the job design which is already available about specific jobs, and then you try to look into what kind of uh, output requirements are there while carrying out the investigation. So who actually carries what kind of requirements? So that uh, uh, require that needs are being assessed considering the different stakeholders. Then once you identify the requirements. Then you try to identify the kind of jobs what you will be analyzing, means exactly the uh, tasks involved that you are supposed to analyze. Now, identification of jobs are the second stage. Obtaining details of existing job design is not about only one. Sometimes what happens that you may have a job design, or you may have a total job design in your hand, but when actually you identify or investigate about what the requirements of different people, and when you look into the different tasks which are supposed to be identified, you may come across that a job design might not be related to only one job. There might be, the investigation might lead to emergence of multiple jobs from one design, depending on the level of work involved. So for that, what you do is you gather information. Now here comes actually the job analysis techniques, how you gather the information about a particular job, and various techniques are there, and those techniques fall in this stage. Then once you gather the information, you analyze that information, and that analysis of information uh, results into two uh, outputs, right? There are two result areas. One is job specification, the other is job description. So job specification or job description, these two are the basic outcomes of the total process of job analysis, right? So the end result of job analysis task is you have job description in your hand and job specification in your hand. So two things you'll be having in your hand. You use these two things for further HR activities, right? So that will be jumped into, and that we will be getting into in the third unit. So the first thing what you come across, first step what you come across is conducting or coming out with a plan, overall plan, which tells that how to conduct the overall job analysis program, or how this overall job analysis program has to be carried out. So this planning, this planning involves what do you say? Look into the uh, uh, various things about how do you start, where do you start, and what is the starting point for doing the analysis, and how you go about doing the analysis, then later on what information you'll collect. So total things you will plan here, and according to the plan, what and all the resources required, what decision making aspects are to be done, and all that. All those things are organized in this first step. So planning and organizing for a job analysis program forms the first step. So you create a plan actually, and you try to organize all the resources. You make decisions about how you go about conducting the job analysis uh, activity or overall job analysis process, right? So first step is arrange everything, make a plan, and then arrange everything. Then second step is to um get the details of what and all jobs are there, and what their job design is. We'll be looking into job design after job analysis part. So the later part of this unit, second unit, we'll be talking about job design, what job design is, and what are the methods, how do you carry out job designing. So what and all that is done with regard to job design, there will be information, and you try to obtain those information, get the details about those information, and try to analyze and all aspects of those job, means the way job is designed, all that information you gather. Now that might include getting all the procedural manuals of the job or the flow charts related to the communication or the tasks, how they are flowing about a particular job, the reporting structure of the job, all that which is already designed. So that information you gather and uh, study it. Now you have plan and you start the plan of job analysis by gathering the information about current or existing job design. Then the third step is that you uh, look into the requirements from different stakeholders, like what management wants from a particular job analysis, what supervisors want from a particular job analysis, means what they are expecting, what is their requirement from this overall job analysis program. So you start investigating their requirements. So second step after planning means the overall third step, right? If you include planning as the first step, then the third step is about you try to gather all the means you try to look into the needs of these stakeholders with regard to a particular job, right? So you try to identify those persons requirements, what they are looking for into a particular, what their expectation from the job, right? What is that they need from a particular job. So not only that aspect, even you try to look into the uh, needs fulfillment from the job for particular staff members, for particular managers, for the department and the organization in a whole. So what is being required from that job? So you try to identify those requirements. Now, once you have the information of the job detail, once you have what is to be required, then in the fourth step, what you do is you identify the exact tasks. You try to identify the exact tasks, uh, means the suitable tasks which fulfill the information which is there in the job design and which match with the information which is there in the job design, and the jobs or the tasks which fulfill those requirements in the previous step. So you identify the jobs which are supposed to be analyzed in line with the stakeholder requirements, means what the expectations, in line with the expectations and in line with the design what is already there. Once you identify that, then you start gathering the information. So you gather information using various methods. Different steps, different methods are there. So you gather the information about a particular job using different techniques. What are those techniques? Next video we will look into those techniques, various methods, how you gather that information for conducting the analysis process, job analysis. Right? Now, here, while gathering, you need to make up some decisions about what should be the information that should be gathered about the data, what should be the type of data, what should be the type of data related to the job, and how you should collect the data, and how you should refine that data, and where that data is available, means the sources of that data, right? So, and how much data is to be collected. So, all decisions are taken and information is gathered. Now, finally, the last step is once you gather the information, you process information. Means you do the analysis here, all the research and all the aspects, or calculations, analysis, or both qualitative or quantitative analysis aspects which are involved. You do out here, and you carry on that analysis, and that analysis will tell you details about the job. Now, that analysis will tell you the details about the job in two aspects. One in terms of job description, the other in terms of job specification. Now, job description talks about what the job is, how it is performed, what are the tasks involved, total details about the job. Then the second aspect about job specification. Now, job specification talks about uh, what is required to perform those tasks, what kind of qualifications are required, what kind of abilities are required, what kind of skill set is required. Might be people requirement, might be other requirements also. So, what are the things that make that the job which is described in job description can be performed? So, specification gives the detail about what is required to perform job specification. So job specification gives the detail about what the job is, and job specification talks about what is required to do that job, right? So these two are the outcomes of job analysis, right? So we start out with doing a plan, then identifying or studying or gathering information about the job design which is already available. Then we look into the expectations of different stakeholders. Then we will look into the jobs which are supposed to be identified, and based on that we carry on gathering the information for those jobs through different methods. And once you gather the information, finally you analyze that information. And that analysis is carried out in such a manner that you have to get two things. Means one, you have to talk about what the job is, what the tasks involved in that job, what are the responsibilities that job is supposed to fulfill, what duties that job is supposed to fulfill or perform, and what is the result of that job. Then the second thing that is an outcome of the information processing is the job specification, which tells that what is required in terms of qualities, in terms of qualifications, in terms of skills, in terms of abilities to perform the job so that the results of that job can be achieved, right? So this is the overall process of job analysis. There are 6 steps in that sense, right? So that's it for the this topic, right? Thank you guys. See you. Bye bye.